Mastering Your Time, a strategic framework for unlocking productivity and purpose. Introduction: the scarcity of attention in an age of abundance. The lament, "there are not enough hours in the day," is a familiar cry in modern professional and personal life. Yet this feeling is generally a false diagnosis. The underlying asset we lack is not time itself, but the focused attention and strategic intention to use it effectively. Master Your Time moves beyond generic hacks and presents a comprehensive philosophy. Productivity is less about cramming more into your day and more about ensuring that every moment you spend is aligned with your highest values and long-term objectives. It is the art of exchanging busyness for significance. This guide provides a complete system to redesign your relationship with time, from passive reactor to active architect of your life. By gaining mastery over your focus, energy, and intentions, you can transform the endless tick of the clock from a source of anxiety into your greatest strategic asset. Part 1. The Pillars of Authentic Productivity. The modern notion of productivity is flawed, equating it with perpetual motion and checked-off checklist boxes. Productivity is a subtler and more sustainable art. Redefining productivity beyond the to-do list. Actual productivity is the effective management of your finite energy and attention to worthwhile outcomes in every sphere of living. It's about doing your best in your career while simultaneously nurturing your health, relationships, and personal growth. It is achievement versus well-being in balance. Time mastery is about making conscious choices on how to allocate this non-renewable asset among work, hobbies, and relationships, so that no single aspect chronically deprives another. Success is not a function of how drained you are at the end of the day, but of how well and effective and fulfilled you've been. The energy-centric model, your true currency. Time is finite, energy is not. The most important shift in productivity mindset is to switch from time management to energy management. Your mental and physical energies fluctuate throughout the day in ultradian cycles, 90 to 120-minute cycles. Fighting these cycles leads to burnout and diminishing returns. Identify your peak times. Track your mental alertness over the course of a week. Are you most alert in the morning, a slow starter, or most creative very late at night? Save your most difficult, high-concentration tasks, strategic planning, heavy writing, problem-solving, for these biological peak times. The strategic energy cycle. A workable system is not linear but cyclical. Avoid. Phase 1. Energy generation and conservation. This is the starting point of investing in your capacity. It requires non-negotiable commitments to high-quality sleep, whole foods, regular exercise, and mindfulness practice. You can't spend what you haven't first invested. Phase 2. Energy direction. With a reservoir overflowing with energy, you now must direct it strategically. This means clear prioritization, sorting out tasks that are not only urgent, but actually important. Phase 3. Focused application. This is the deep work state, where you give your undivided attention to a single task, having eliminated potential sources of distraction. Step 4. Strategic recovery. You cannot achieve high performance without purposeful rest. Giving yourself brief breaks after focused periods, a walk, meditation, stretching, allows your mental resources to replenish so you're prepared for the next cycle. My insight: this energy-based framework is the antidote to chronic burnout. It is grounded in the recognition that human beings are not machines, and that sustainable high performance is accomplished through a rhythm of exertion and recovery. By aligning your work to your natural energy levels, you accomplish more in less time, with greater quality and less stress. Part 2. Deconstructing procrastination, the habit of avoidance. Procrastination is not a character flaw, but a complex psychological response to emotional discomfort. Understanding its root causes is the first step towards ending it. The clarity deficit. We shun the ambiguous by nature. A task that is murky in purpose, steps, or reward creates anxiety. The limbic system of the brain, in an attempt to prevent this discomfort, eschews it in favor of more concrete, dopamine-providing activities like social media scanning or email checking. The antidote: apply the clarity protocol. For any task you are procrastinating on, ask and answer. What precisely is the absolute next physical step, i.e., not write report, but open document and type first bullet point of introduction. Why does this task truly matter? Tie it to a larger personal or professional goal. What is the precise penalty for not doing it? Make the cost of an action specific. How will I feel once I've completed it? Utilize positive emotional anticipation. The motivation fallacy. The traditional belief is that motivation must precede action, that we wait for the right feeling before we start. Actually, this is a reversed chain of cause and effect. Motivation results from action. The initial step, however small, creates momentum and a sense of progress, which encourages us to take the next step. The antidote: use the 2-minute rule of David Allen's Getting Things Done system. If a task will take 2 minutes or less, do it right away. For big tasks, promise yourself to only work on it for 2 minutes. The mental block to getting started is usually the biggest hurdle. Overcome it, and it becomes much easier to continue. The perfectionism paralysis. The fear of doing a poor job, making a mistake, or being criticized can be so scary that no attempt is made to do any work. The perfectionist's credo is, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. The antidote: embrace the concept of a minimum viable product, MVP, or a first draft. Give yourself express permission to create something imperfect. The goal of the first iteration is simply to be. Excellence and refinement are secondary and occur in the editing phase. Remember, done is better than perfect. The overwhelm impasse. When a project towers above and seems monolithic, the cognitive load becomes overwhelming. The brain, not being able to visualize a way to finish, closes down and tries to escape. The antidote: practice project chunking. Break down any big project into smaller, linearly ordered tasks. A task like write a book becomes 1. Outline chapters 2, draft chapter 1-3, draft chapter 2, etc. Focus is shifted away from the daunting ultimate goal to the manageable next step, and getting started is made less intimidating. My takeaway: procrastination is ultimately an emotional regulation failure, rather than a time management failure. By addressing the underlying emotions, fear, anxiety, confusion, with structured cognitive and behavioral strategies, we can rewire our response to challenging tasks and build the muscle of disciplined action. Ruthless prioritization, the 80-20 rule. The Pareto principle states that roughly 80% of outcomes are the result of 20% of efforts. The key to revolutionary productivity is to relentlessly uncover and prioritize that vital 20%. Application: regularly review your activities. Ask, what few activities produce the lion's share of my desired outcomes? And what activities can I eliminate or minimize since they produce little value? This principle demands a constant focus on impact, not activity. Financial prudence: spending money to purchase time. Financial pressure is an enormous waste of cognitive resources. On the other hand, financial security buys the ultimate leverage, time and options. Application: be a value-based consumer. Before making a major purchase, calculate its true cost in terms of time. For example, a $900 phone at a $15 per hour wage translates to 60 hours of work. Is the phone worth 60 hours of your life, or would a $300 model be sufficient, freeing 40 hours of life energy? Spend money to save time. Deliberately invest money to purchase back time. This can include hiring a virtual assistant, a housekeeper, or a grocery delivery service to free up hours for high-leverage work or replenishing rest. Part 6. The discipline of deep focus. In an attention economy, focus is the new superpower. It is the fuel that converts time and energy into tangible results. The enemies of focus. Task switching. Multitasking context switching between tasks incurs a cognitive penalty, taking mental energy and increasing error rates and time to completion dramatically. Unmanaged interruptions. Every ping, message, or quick question annihilates your state of flow. It takes over 23 minutes to return to the same state of deep focus, as per research. Starting with trivialities. Beginning the day with easy, low-impact tasks, e.g., clearing an inbox, depletes your peak energy on work that won't make a difference. Creating a state of flow. Flow is a condition of complete absorption in an activity, characterized by supreme focus, loss of self-awareness, and a distorted sense of time. It is where maximum productivity and creativity lie. The preconditions for flow. Clear goals. You know what you need to do. Immediate feedback. You can see yourself progressing as you move along. Challenge skill balance. The task is not too easy, boring, or too hard, anxiogenic. Strategies to induce flow. Create rituals. Establish a pre-work ritual, e.g., dedicated playlist, brewing tea, 5 minutes of meditation, that signals your brain that it's time to focus. Eliminate distractions proactively, not optional. Turn off all unnecessary notifications, put your phone in another room, use website blockers, and wear noise-canceling headphones. Time block deep work. Plan safeguarded, uninterrupted 60 to 90-minute blocks in your calendar for your highest priority task. Give this block the same unshakable regard as a meeting with your highest priority client. The 80-20 rule used for focus. Apply the Pareto principle to your attention. Identify the 20% of the tasks that consume 80% of your deep focus and guard the time for those tasks ferociously. With the remaining 80% of the tasks, routine communication, administrative tasks, you can survive with a shallower, more reactive focus. My takeaway: focus is a skill, not a talent. It's developed by creating an environment and routine in which deep work is the norm, not the exception. The ability to focus single-mindedly is quite possibly the most valuable professional skill of the 21st century. Conclusion: the integrated time master. Mastering your time is not a destination, but a continuous process of self-mastery. It involves recognizing that you are the custodian of your energy, the architect of your attention, and the author of your intention. The methods given, from aligning with your energy cycles and breaking through procrastination to using the 80-20 rule and entering states of flow, are not isolated techniques but part of an integrated system of conscious living. It begins with one defining moment, taking full responsibility for how you use your minutes. In that moment, you are no longer a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your reality. You move from saying, "I don't have time," to saying, "I am making time for what is important." Remember, time is the one asset you can't make more of. Put it to use intentionally, forcefully, and judiciously. Invest it in the activities that build a life of achievement, progress, and fulfillment. Start today, not tomorrow, for tomorrow is promised to none. The best time is always now. Part 3. The temporal mindset. Breaking free of time traps. Our behavior is determined by our mental representations of the past, present, and future. Misuse of these time periods is a major cause of unproductivity. Liberating the past, from anchor to library. Certain individuals are being held hostage by regrets, failures, or pity from the past. They use the past as evidence to predict future limitations, a self-fulfilling prophecy of underachievement. The strategy: reflective learning, not ruminative regret. Rephrase the question from "why did I fail?" to "what did I learn?" Extract the lesson from the experience and let go of the negative emotional baggage. Practice self-forgiveness. Acknowledge the fact that mistakes are a part of the human condition. Self-blame deflects mental energy that can be utilized in the here and now action. Divide yourselves. Realize that the you who made a mistake in the past is not the same person as the you of the present, with the benefit of experience and new knowledge. Designing the future. From anxiety to architecture. Future worrying is a waste of energy in the present moment. Instead, the future must be a source of direction and inspiration, created by proactive designing. The strategy: vision casting. Create a clear, compelling vision for your professional and personal life 1, 3, or 5 years in the future. What does success look like? How does it feel? Backcasting. Plan backward from that future vision to the present. What are the major milestones needed? What competencies must you gain? This creates a strategic plan. Anticipate and mitigate. Foresee potential roadblocks in your path and develop contingency plans. This advanced planning reduces worry and fortifies resilience. Mastering the present, the theater of action. The past is history, and the future is hypothetical. The present is the only sphere in which real change and action are possible. A well-managed present is the only way to create a better future. The strategy: the micro-life concept. Think of each day as a microcosm of your entire life, a micro-life. How you live today is an exact reflection of how you are living your life. To spend the day on that which is irrelevant is to have a meaningless micro-life, which cumulatively builds an unsatisfying macro-life. Daily intentionality. Begin each day by asking, What one or two things, if accomplished today, will make this day a big step in the direction of my larger goals? This makes your daily work intentional, as opposed to reactive. My takeaway: this time reframing is leadership of the self in a nutshell. In taking lessons from the past without being shackled to it, designing the future without worrying about it, and being fully in the present with intent, you experience a sense of empowered agency about the trajectory of your life. Part 4. The architecture of meaningful action. To use time in a meaningful way, you must build sound systems and mental models for making everyday decisions. Eradicating the limiting mindset. The phrase, "I don't have time," is one of the most common and harmful lies we tell ourselves and other people. It is almost always a euphemism for, "it is not a priority." The strategy: cultivate linguistic awareness. Exchange disempowering language for truthful, empowered statements. Rather than, "I don't have time to exercise," say, "Physical health is not a priority for me right now," or more positively, "I am reprioritizing my schedule to include time for exercise next week." This change compels brutal honesty and personal responsibility, the precursor to change. Doing a time audit, the mirror of self-awareness. You can't manage what you don't monitor. Most people are horrendously unaware of how they actually use their 168 hours a week. The plan: track your time in 30-minute increments for a week. Categorize the activities, e.g., deep work, administrative meetings, social media, commute, family. The results are typically revealing, with big time leaks being consumed by low-value, non-productive activities. This data constitutes the objective foundation for making informed changes. Alignment with core values and long-term vision. The most profound source of productivity is working on the right things. A task can be done efficiently, but be entirely irrelevant to your desired destination. The strategy: apply the 10-year test. From time to time, evaluate your activities by asking yourself, if I continue to spend my time this way, where will I be in 10 years? Will I be proud of my journey? This long-term vantage point instantly prioritizes what is most important and exposes activities that are mere diversions. Unleashing passion through meaningful work. To sustain effort over the long haul, your work must be connected to something that you are passionate about. The passion-driven work model. Excitement. The work must be stimulating and engage your curiosity. Clarity. The objectives and actions required are well defined. Value alignment. The work matches your core life philosophy and values, e.g., creativity, freedom, service, mastery. Vitality. The work energizes you and makes you feel alive because it uses your personal skills and values. Challenge. It pushes you slightly out of your comfort zone, allowing you to learn and grow. Part 5. The leverage principles. Multiplying your time. High achievers don't simply work more. They work more effectively by creating leverage, achieving disproportionate output for their effort input. Strategic delegation and help seeking. Your time is worth money. Trying to do it all yourself is a false economy. The principle is to place your time where your highest skills are engaged and delegate, outsource, or seek help for the rest. Application. Utilize the stop-to-delegate model. Review your activities and decide, what do I need to stop doing altogether? What must I do myself? What can I delegate or get help with? Accelerated learning. Shortening the curve. Don't recreate the wheel. Knowledge to solve most problems already exists. Application. Invest in learning. This may be purchasing a detailed online course, paying for a coach for personalized feedback, or systematically working through books and video tutorials by experienced professionals. This upfront investment saves hundreds of hours of trial and error. The mastery mindset. Depth over breadth. In a world addicted to shortcuts, real leverage comes from profound, underlying mastery. Application. Master repetition. Drill the basic components of your skill until they're automatic, freeing up mental bandwidth for higher-level thinking. Master the basics. Don't ever get above the fundamentals. Whether it's the syntax of a language, the principles of your domain, or the principles of financial literacy, it's a solid foundation that allows for upper-level innovation and prevents disastrous errors. Keep a beginner's mind. Stay humble and curious, always open to learning and questioning your assumptions.